guys, King Wizard here. Today I'm going to show a video that I shouldn't really be proud of. If you've seen any of Asian Eye's videos recently, you've probably known that there are a plethora of different OTKs involving Royal Magical Library and Chicken Race. And today I have another one for you. This is one that I literally just came up with maybe half an hour ago. While building a hero deck that ran Neos Alias. I had just typed in Neos, and I'd seen Miracle Contact, and with that I was like, that's a pretty interesting card. I wonder if any of the Neos fusions are interesting or are good. Well, no, they're all shit. But I saw this one, and if you don't know what this one is, it's Elemental Hero Air Neos, and it requires Elemental Hero Neos and Neospatian Air Hummingbird. Its effect is, while your life points are lower than your opponent's, this card gains attack equal to the difference. And then this card returns to the extra deck during the end phase. So upon seeing that effect, I was like, well, Chicken Race OTK makes a drastic difference in life. So that difference in the life points added on to his attack should be enough for game. And it is. The downside to it is that it literally requires you to activate almost all three of your upstarts. Or no, you need to activate all three of your upstarts, all three chicken races, all three pseudo spaces, and one Toon World. When you do that, it'll leave you at 1,000 life, and it'll leave your opponent at 11,000. So that'll make your Neospatian Air Hummingbird at 11,500 attack. And, no, or is it 12,500? I think it's 12,500. So yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and do the deck profile. For the most part, some of this is standard. I'm running 3 Elemental Hero Neos, 3 Red Eyes Black Dragon, 2 Summoner Monks, 3 Royal Magical Library, and 2 Neospatian Air Hummingbirds. I'm running Red Eyes because Card of the Red Jewel is a card, and Sacred Swords because both Neos and Red Eyes are level 7s. I'm running Summoner Monk to help increase the consistency of turn 1 Royal Magical Libraries. Most of the time it's not too bad ditching a spell, because a lot of times you're going to be like, it's really easy to just ditch like a Sacred Swords because you can only activate 1 per turn anyways. Same thing with Card of the Red Jewel. For the spells, I'm running Allure, 1 Allure because there's a decent amount of dark targets, and it's such a good late game card because, again, Red Eyes and Summoner Monk, and most of the time, Summoner Monk is going to end up being dead. At least one of them is. And this deck has so much draw power that you're most likely going to get 1 stuck in your hand. So yeah, 1 Allure, 2 Card of the Red Jewel, 1 Miracle Contact, 2 Sacred Swords, triple Upstart, triple Terraforming, triple Dark World Dealings, 1 Magical Mallet, triple Toon Table of Contents, 1 Toon World, triple Chicken Race, triple Pseudo Space, 1 Raigeki, and 1 Soul Taker. I'm running the 3 Dark World Dealings for draw power, and because a lot of these are easy discard targets, because Miracle Contact can work from your hand and the grave, or the field. So there's not a downside really to discarding the Neos or Hummingbird to the grave, as well as, it can help get rid of stuck Summoner Monks or other Royal Magical Libraries that might be in your hand. I'm running Raigeki and Soul Taker, which the Soul Taker makes this a 41 card deck, but a lot of times if you're going to want to go second so you can actually attack on your first turn. So this is like a 2-turn OTK most of the time, and the only way that they can really stop it is if they have any sort of effect negation on the Royal Magical Library, any sort of turn 1 spell negation, or any battle stoppers. They can also stop it by having this, which is what I find funny. I've learned this just through testing it. They can stop the OTK just by having a monster with, like, I think at least 1,700 attack or something like that on board, which is hilarious. So I need to run, I'm running Raigeki and Soul Taker to help clear that, to help clear their board. Soul Taker is actually a pretty good card choice because that pretty much beefs up your Hummingbird even more, or your Air Neos even more, because it gives them life points, meaning the difference between yours and theirs is going to be a lot higher. But I'm not choosing to run any more, and I can't really squeeze anything else out, because this is a pretty tight deck, you know. And I feel like if I run any more copies of it, it's just going to decrease the consistency of the deck, which is already pretty inconsistent, but it's just something that I find pretty funny. And I am going to go ahead and show a replay of it. I did this replay versus DevBot. I do not condone using these decks against actual people, because it is like some of the most cancerous shit that I've ever seen. Chicken Race OTK, Chicken Race and Royal Magical Library should not be cards. I'm going to go ahead and show I have two replays. One of them is where I just barely didn't get it. You'll see now, this sucks because there it is. Yeah, he summons a monster with 2,000 attack. And this was before I was running Raigeki and Soul Taker. This is what prompted me to run those. I started off really good. I top deck Royal Magical Library. I have Toon Table in my hand, and just start going off. Everybody knows this from here. So yeah, there's not much to say about it other than that. It's just kind of a perfect opening for the deck. It's just unfortunate that I didn't have Raigeki or Soul Taker in the deck at the time, because I hadn't considered them actually just summoning a monster that I can't OTK against. So yeah, pretty standard stuff right here. This is really just showcasing how much Royal Magical Library really should be banned. This card is just used in so many degenerate decks. It makes so much of this viable. See, right there. He's at 12.5, and then he's at 2, so he only takes 10.5, I think, which leaves him at 500. Yep. And then right after that, since he gets returned to the deck, he just Dark Holes and then attacks for game. So yeah, that was an instance where it was really close, but if I ran any sort of monster removal, I would have gotten it. So for the actual replay, for the one where it goes through, now I am running Raigeki in this one, and as you can see, he summons an Insect Knight, and I do end up Raigekiing it to win. This opening hand definitely wasn't as good, because as you see, I had to use Summoner Monk, but I still opened the Toon Table, and I still managed to pull it off. It's again pretty standard stuff. If you've seen any other Chicken Race, Royal Magical Library, OTKs, then you know what's going on, really. The only cards that you really have to know are Air Hummingbird, Miracle Contact, Neos, I guess the new Red Eyes draw engine, and Air Neos, which I've already explained. At that point, I bricked pretty hard, so I just Magical Malleted away my entire hand and drew, for the most part, the same fucking cards. And this point right there, I luck sacked the shit out of that. Allure of Darkness was my only play that I could make, and I had no targets in my hand, drew the cards, and one of them was a Red Eyes. So I lucked out pretty hard in this. See, now I'm at 1,000. And I think I even, yeah, there's an Upstart. There's the Raigeki. A draw. Go into it. It's 11.5. Attack for game. And I didn't even use all of my Upstarts. So technically, activating all 3 Upstarts is not required. But if you basically just have to substitute one of the things out for one of the others. It's like if you're going to not activate all 3 Upstarts, then you're going to have to activate all of your Chicken Races and your Pseudo Spaces and the Toon World. And if you can't activate the Toon World, which I don't see why you wouldn't be able to, then you have to activate all the Chicken Races, Pseudo Spaces, and Upstarts. to create the life point difference, that would be game. And I guess, you know, it's just this version definitely of a chicken race OTK definitely isn't as consistent as some of the others, but it's just kind of showcasing how many different OTKs are viable because of it, and how extremely degenerate it really is. And not only that, this one was extremely luck sacked, because if I didn't draw that red eyes with that allure, then I most likely wouldn't have gotten this off. So yeah, that's the video. And if you like this, which I can't imagine why people would, thumb it up. If you have any comments or anything to say, tips, suggestions, whatever, just leave them in the comments. If you want to get in contact with me, you can send me a message over on over YouTube, or if you check out my channel description, I do frequent Pojo, and I have my username listed in my channel description. Thanks for watching, guys.